Hello everybody, I just wanted to talk to you about a certain article, history, which I thought was quite interesting. Hey, welcome aboard everybody. Hello, True Faith and L. Brooks, hello. And who else we got? Just two people. So there's an interesting article here from CNN about liberal Muslims versus the radicals. And liberal Muslims are seeking a place where men and women can pray side by side, supposedly. And they preach in German instead of in Turkish or Arabic or Persian. And they are supposedly victims and are being treated with active hostility. We have had eggs thrown at this building and pork was put into our mailbox. So, alias for you. Welcome back, my dear. Who have I not said hello to? Oh, that's everyone. We've got here, a week after the mosque was closed, the congregation made plans to hold Friday prayers in Marienplatz. Hey, Liran, fancy meeting you here. So, there were personal threats against the guy's family by right-wing groups. They threatened to throw pork at us, urine and blood. I know, he's been away for a long time. I never wanted to protest. I never wanted to provoke anyone. I just want to make the people of Munich aware of the problem we were facing. A Jesuit priest offered them a church to pray in. Aren't they lovely? When there are people who want to pray, God-fearing people must stand with them and help them. That's obvious to me, says the priest. No worries, my friend. While they slaughter the Christians in the Middle East, but I'm sure that, that's not really related. It's probably not fair to equate the two, right? Okay, let's have a look here. Muslims now make up 5.5% of the population in Germany. That's the critical point, by the way. Once it reaches 5.5%, you can forget it. Just leave or convert, my friends. And although many of Germany's Muslims are well integrated, they feel closely connected to the country, according to a recent report by an independent think tank. I'm very interested in this independent think tank. Let's have a look. The same report found that 90% of Germans say they don't want a Muslim as their neighbor. Only 19%. All right, let's have a look here. So, it is in German. Integration of Muslims in Germany is making significant progress. Since the 1960s, in Germany, there's now 4.7 million Muslims. Despite social tensions, the integration makes clear progress. One of the central findings of our Religious Monitor 2017. I would love to know who is writing this report. The director is Stefan Voppel and Yasmin Al-Mnawar. I thought they said independent report. This is what I mean. Interesting stuff. The integration of the Muslims living here. What's interesting is that you need an organization to help with that. German is the first language. Religious Muslims are disadvantaged in the labor markets. The commitment to faith and the practice of religion are not a taboo in working life. Interesting stuff. They want Islamic burial sites, facilitate the practical exercise of religion. Yeah, good luck to you. No problem. So what do we got here? It says here that it's an independent report that says that they're doing well, even though the head person is Mnawar. That doesn't sound too independent to me. Churches, theatres and cultural institutions across Munich, and it was easier to build the blah, 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 blah. Okay. The lack of mosques is not unique to Munich. Okay. Munich is a politically conservative city with strong Christian traditions. Since the beginning of 2015, 160,000 asylum seekers have arrived here. Across the country, mosques are being closed and communities are struggling to find spaces to pray. Many people don't want to sell or rent property to Muslims because they're worried the value will go down. They might also think, if I support this community, maybe I'm supporting extremism. Catherine, even 20 years ago, it was easier to build a nuclear power plant than a mosque. Since 9/11 and the growth of ISIS and terror attacks, it's become even harder. What's interesting is why that is difficult to process. I don't get that. Anyway, Popao believes that there is a particular need for his take on Islam, one where men and women pray side by side, where the Imam preaches in German rather than Arabic, Turkish, or Persian, where liberal European values hold sway. So I like that idea, but I haven't seen these people. It'd be great if they actually were able to take over. Because my fear is that people who pray that way would get killed by other Muslims. Gabulous, no Tifa. Hey, my dear. Sonia Haddad, 35. I like the dynamic. She likes that it's liberal. I mean, I like that too. The tone of the report almost seems accusatory. Obviously, there wouldn't be mosques in an atheist Christian land. Yeah, that seems to be the case, right? Like many Muslim communities across the country, Popal and Inan have sought help from the city, but they feel their requests have been largely ignored. See, that part to me bothers me, because what I would like to see is how many non-Muslims also have their requests largely ignored, so that we can eliminate the variable of whether it's the city itself or whether it's because they're Muslim. I think that would have more weight. If they had that, I'm open to information. If they're discriminating against Muslims, then I would fight that. But the problem is that it's delivered in such an unverifiable manner, such a pseudo-scientific manner. That really bothers me. Of course, we support the idea of a European Islam, an Islam that shares European values. And we realize that this is an emergency situation. Okay. Muslims and politicians can't win any votes by talking with us. A Jewish city councillor who attended the Friday prayers believes anti-Muslim sentiment may be influencing the decisions of council. You know, Liran, that's the one thing I don't understand. Why are there so many Jews who want to help promote the Islamic doctrine, which is overtly anti-Jewish? It's anti-Jewish in the Quran. It's by God. God specifically said in Arabic certain things against the Jews. In fact, in chapter 2 it begins. Self-destructive. I don't understand that. I don't get that. My brain can't comprehend that. That's like a Maronite, saying, hello, come and rape my family. I don't get that. Of course, there's a lot of concern about Islam because of the recent terror attacks. I don't think, for me, the terrorist attacks are obviously a problem, but it's the doctrine itself that is the main problem. But I don't even think that's the problem. As we've said, I've gone deeper than that before. So he is from the Conservative Christian Social Union, Marian Offman. Since May, he's been helping the community to find temporary spaces to pray to find a permanent home. When we help young Muslims live their faith, there is less danger of them being radicalized. Is that based on anything? I don't understand where that belief comes from. That's the part I don't understand. When we help young Muslims to live their faith, there is less danger of them being radicalized. I don't get that. It makes no sense to me. Here's the other thing which I read to Liran earlier on the iRational channel. I thought this one was really good. This is from a liberal Muslim. You ready? You ready? Here we go. If you want peace in your city, ensuring that religious communities have adequate space to practice their religion is a vital building block. Which I thought was quite interesting. I don't know. I think half of their population might be, but I don't really know. I think the only reason that Lebanon had a fighting chance was because most of its country wasn't Muslim, but now it is. So I don't think it's. Just trying to go into Twitter so I can post this to everybody. So these are the type of tweets I like to talk about. I don't really want to, you know, blame or anything else. I like the idea of the liberal thing. I have no issue with that. So let me just, if you want peace in your city, see, if you want peace in your city, but I mean, it could have been taken out of context. So, you know, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Got to go to Renfest. Oh, that's awesome. We'll have a beautiful time. Thanks for letting us know. Tweet us some photos. I'll tweet them out. If you want peace in your city, ensuring that religious communities have space to practice their religion is a vital building block. Practice. Cool. I will. Awesome. I like to hear that. Okay. If you want peace. It's all very odd. Why would refugees be so demanding? They should be humble and thankful. Yeah, I know. It's interesting. It's an interesting concept. It's very, very bizarre. But I'm going to get this guy's name just so I can quote it. I like just quoting people. I don't have to say anything. But I mean, it's from CNN, so I'm sure someone will. What's his name? Mazek. I've got to find his actual name. Ayman Mazek, chairman of the Council of Muslims in Germany. I thought that'd be a nice one. All right, we will tweet that out. Done. All right, I'm going to leave soon. I'll just have a look at the rest of this article, see if there's anything else interesting. How many Muslims based down track lack places to pray? Popal is worried that overcrowding could once again be a problem for their next venue when they eventually find one. Until that happens, pressure will continue to grow on existing mosques further afield. Interesting stuff. There you go. All right, Liran. Well, I'm sorry to hear about your self-hating friends. We had a scoper who was like that. They were just they just were obsessed with you know, this supposed anti-Semitic groups demanding we provide and make citizens. Interesting. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with Mexican immigration. I'd rather have someone come in and love their country. It just depends. I think if you had a scoper, yeah, one of our top scopers. So they were Hebrew, and at the same time just were obsessed with the supposed hatred of a certain faith that is anti-Semitic. So who gets that type of logic? Beats me. Where are we here? But I don't actually. Yep. Well, I get your capitals, my dear. I'm sure it does matter, yeah, for different reasons. But you know, all of that is not the real problem. I think the deeper problem is that people don't love their own culture, which I think is actually part of the culture itself. There's a lot of people that hate their own culture. Yeah, I see Europe fractionating. I can see like the Geert Wilders crew would fractionate and there'll be some sort of civil war. That's my thinking. But it'll probably come like 50 years down the track, maybe. But I don't know. I think the UK will be further down the track. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Interesting stuff. That was a nice topic. You want to talk about anything more fun? There's a beautiful rainbow. We have our heritage reaches back to 500 AD. Yeah, I know, but the most people don't. That's the thing, Lynn. You know, you half your country doesn't agree with you, and so what do? You know, that to me, your real war is with the other half of your country that doesn't agree with you. That's and why are they there? I mean, how did they even evolve to get into that position? That's the real problem. What is it about Western society that allows it to grow generations that hate itself? Buy myself an island. You know, that's funny because that actually is probably not a bad idea. It might sound crazy, but probably not as much as you might think. Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. Good to talk to you guys. If anyone else has a question, let me know. Otherwise, did you happen to watch that Vice doc about autism? Holy crap, I forgot. Okay, I'm going to watch it right now. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, well, you know what will happen? See, what will happen is that, 10 generations down, thank you. 10 generations down, I am pretty sure that some descendants of yours will end up also hating that society. There is something that is within us that over time causes some of us to end up hating the very society in which we're in. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like you always have to keep buying a new island each time. That's the problem. I'm gonna watch this sing because I told Liran I would, so I'm gonna do it. All right. It's complacent and spoiled, absolutely. So how does it get to that point? To me, that's the real problem, and I don't think anyone has ever talked about that. That's the real problem. Don't make it a chore. If it's boring, stop midway. I will. You have my word. If it's boring, I'll stop midway. And let's have a watch. Okay. And let's watch it in fast forward. Groundbreaking innovations in managing autism. Yeah, so how do you stop that from happening? That's the problem, right? I mean, you might be strict on your kid, and then your kid will turn out awesome, but then they'll become strict on theirs, but then it'll get less and less over time. It's happened in every culture from history. How does one stop that? Yeah, that's the problem. And it only takes one, right? It takes one person not to raise their kid with much discipline for that future, family tree to be destroyed.
They're trying to shut down channels because the world is really overwhelming. I just can't see it. It really was like somebody had turned off a switch. It was as if he was looking right through me. So in our lifetimes, will a child with autism be able to walk into the hospital and walk out without autistic behaviors? For some of them, I believe this is totally possible.
I don't like this idea of curing autism. God tells you how? Yeah. You know, there's I've been listening to a theology course on YouTube, and I have to tell you, God has not done a good job. But anyone who believes will say that it's not God's fault, it's people's interpretation of the faith. But that itself is the problem, the room for interpretation. And this is the problem with revelation as opposed to discovery. But anyway, that's my thinking. Expand. There's a really good guy if you listen to him. His name is, let me just find the guy. He's really good. Rees Theology. See if I can find him. Dr. Ryan Reeves. Look up Dr. Ryan Reeves. He's one of the best theologians I've ever listened to. It's really good. Let's have a look at this autism thing. My perspective is important. Clearly not important enough, Lynn. You must engage and share. I engage all the time. I'm on scopes all the time. If you need anything, just message me on Facebook.
Diagnoses have been on a steep rise in recent years. In fact, according to the CDC,
All right, so let's watch this in 1.5 speed because this documentary looks like it runs pretty quick.
68 American children born today has autism in some form. Now, because of this, the scientific community is marshaling major resources to figure out the origins of the condition and how to treat it.
I like this idea of treating the condition. I think autism is superior. Problem is everyone else. All right, come on. We've got a school
We're in
bus.
front of the Rebecca School in the middle of Midtown Manhattan, and we're here to meet some kids, all different ages, who all have autism.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your name is Alec, up and do a dance. Your name is Alec, up and do a dance. Run back to your seat and give someone else a chance.
I hated that stuff as a kid.
Experience
I'd always stay away from
foster
everyone.
being on the street for these children.
Most of these kids don't have an integrated sense of the world. So it's a fractured experience. So you wonder why kids walk around with their fingers in their ears, or they cover their eyes, or it's because they're trying to shut down channels because the world is really overwhelming. If you don't know what the important data is, everything might be important. So
That's exactly right. That is, if you don't know what the data is, then everything is the data. That is exactly correct. You don't know. That's exactly how my brain works.
a car horn might actually be the thing you have to pay attention to, or the humming of a light bulb might be the thing you have to pay attention to. If you can't figure out
It bothers me that they're not asking me for advice, you bastards. I know that's irrational.
what's important, you have to pay attention to everything.
All right, I think I'm going to go back to twice speed.
Hey, Ray, what? Look, over here. No, look. You see that over here? No,
Oh my god, I used to jump all the time. That's what I did.
these. Look, who are these people? I actually have no idea.
Soul is one of those guys who is always regulated up here. Everything happens quickly. What he doesn't have a chance to do is really process what he's going to put back out.
I can't believe I
Oh my god, that's me. That kid is me.
need to be on the show. What would your show be called, Soul? I have no idea. What would it be called? I've seen a movie called Coupon the Two Strings. I haven't seen that movie.
Oh my god.
What about
His
Iron
brain
Man
works like mine. I can tell immediately. I can see a younger version of me when I'm looking at this guy.
3?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Did you see that movie?
I did. Did you?
Yes.
The movie Guru.
I'm not movie guru.
Like the expert.
I'm not an expert, okay? Don't call me that.
Oh my god, that's what I used to do. Fuck. Oh, that's not good, man. This shit triggers me. Yeah. I remember doing that to my mum multiple times. I hate that. They're some of the memories that cause me nightmares.
I just can't take it. You can't take it. I can't take this thing. Please help me, I'm stuck. Ready? Grab on. Ah,
Free. Way to go.
thank you. You did it. Man, you did so great. Thank you for letting me out.
You're welcome.
Oh, fuck, man. That stuff's difficult to watch. Because that's what happened. That's how I used to be at school, and then the students would harass me.
Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, has seen a 3,000% increase in diagnoses in the last 30 years.
You can't talk about autism as a disease. It's many, many different things, and it's a range within each of those things.
We sat down with Dr. Jeremy Veenstra-Vanderweel, or Dr. V, a psychiatrist at Columbia University, where he devotes most of his time to
That's
pursuing new
crazy.
treatments for autism.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch this now on my own, and then I'm going to go back to Gabsmack to the live thing and talk to people about this. I can't believe I didn't watch this before. All right. I will talk to you guys very soon. Ja.